Okay, yeah, you got Windex on the brain, right? Clean brain.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
I never get it right on the exact second that we go live. But anyways, hello and welcome to the Late Late Horror Show. I am Dino.
And I'm Aleece.
And we are going to talk today about another 80s classic. On Revisit here, I got different things to say about it. But yeah, Brain Damage, 1988.
Yes.
Frank Henenlotter. I mean, come on.
Back's the case, Frankenhooker. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a whole lot more other than those things. But Basket Case, I mean, and there's a lot of things in this movie that kind of relate to it. But
It's
we'll
in the
talk about
Basket
it.
Case universe.
Yes, it is. Yes, there you go. That's exactly. Connie Cleary, what is going on in the chat? Edward Stewart, how you doing? Ian, thank you for being here. John Mickey, JLR is here. RTN Productions, what's going on, RTN? Who else is here? I don't want to miss anybody. Kathy, I think I said that, didn't I? Stephen Gufreda is here. And Brandy J is here. So, and Travis, how you doing? I am Lurker, 666. Some of the names, you know, they're fantastic. Donner Pass Whiskey, what is going on? Nice to see you all. This is going to be a fun talk, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's in that 80s cheese vein, although this is just darn right weird.
Yes.
And David Lynch-like almost. I mean, in ways.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's it doesn't have that same level of just zaniness that TerrorVision does.
No. No.
TerrorVision is just nonstop, and this is a little bit more a little bit more strange, but kind of slightly more reserved than TerrorVision.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit more reserved. I don't know what Frank Henenlotter was thinking. I mean, don't get me wrong. The movie's good. Okay, this is in that bowl of 80s movies that I would go, oh, here we go. But it'll take me a while to watch it again because it wasn't as fantastic as I thought it was.
Okay.
Because on second viewing, you know, the first viewing must have been fantastic. I'm like, my memory says that was unbelievable. And let me see, 83 Double Dog to all my favorite people. What is going on, my friend? Nice to see you here. I am Lurker666 with the thumb or the tongue sticking out emoji. That is very cool. Artemis, what is going on?
Artemis.
Nice to see you, Artemis. But yeah. It is a little bit more strange and weird, but there are some things in this movie. I think it's got one of the most, oh my God, how can I say this? Strangest, weirdest death scenes ever. I mean, am I right? I mean, most unique, but kind of in a sexual manner. I mean,
yeah, especially with that blonde at the club.
Yeah. I mean, I never seen anything. Well, I did years ago when I watched this. I seen it, and I know that was the one thing that stood out in the entire film was. Anyways, before I get to it, let's talk about this film a little bit, okay? It is in the Basket Case universe only because Dwayne
and Belial
show up on the train later.
You don't see Belial, he's just in the basket.
I know, the basket. He's in the basket.
It's so excited.
And me and Ted
I cheered.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is his hair so black, Dwayne?
I don't know.
You know, it's not like he was doing anything else, you know?
Right.
Because all of these actors in this movie are the same people basically that, I mean, there's not a whole lot of people in this movie.
Right.
I mean,
like the one neighbor lady, she was also in Basket Case.
Yes, what was her name? Her name was Casey. She was the one that in Basket Case, she went and drank some beers and befriended Dwayne and all that because she lived next door. She was a hooker. And boy, she had her death a little later in that Basket Case movie. But she was in here, but she played a part in all the Basket Cases.
Right, yeah.
And this, most of Frank Henenlotter's films. But yeah, this is a little bit different, a little bit kooky. But and Jennifer Lowry, the girlfriend of Brian. Brian is the lead, who right from the start is in bed sick,
Yes.
with some kind of ailment. It's all about drugs, you guys.
Yes.
Another
metaphor for drugs and addiction.
Yes.
Maybe. Or maybe using that just as an excuse to have a very phallic monster. Parasite thing.
Yeah, see, I mean, I'm trying not to be all over the place, but again, this creature, which we'll talk about, is kind of like a large penis. It's voiced by the classic horror host Zachary, who he hosted. It was called Zachary at Large. Boy, this was back in the 60s, I do believe. I mean, it was a
I
long
read
time
up on him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the voice for the character alone makes Aylmer, who, that's his name, not Elmer, Aylmer, Aylmer.
Yeah.
Aylmer. And they said, what did they say? It says Aylmer basically stands for the almighty famous one, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason, he made it look like this cartoonish, which Aylmer was almost the best part of the movie. I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish that he had more of a significant presence throughout the movie, kind of in the way that Belial does in Basket Case. Like, even if he's not on screen, he's still like, he's kind of commands the movie.
Yeah.
I wish Aylmer had a bit more of that significance.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he does have a lot, but I see what you're saying. He should, because he's the best thing about the movie. And when he speaks, he is the voice of the old horror host, Zachary, and that voice just creates something that you just are entranced with, and you're like, my God.
So unexpected.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he sounds a little bit like the Monster Mash guy. He'd be like, ooh, they did the Monster Mash. Like, a little bit like that, and you're like...
Boris Karloff?
That's...
Does he sound like Boris? Maybe a little
just
bit.
in the song, just the way...
Okay.
But it's just so unexpected, because it's this kind of, like, almost silly-looking thing, and this very sort of... like, kind of distinguished voice.
Yeah. Well, you get exactly. You get the eyes that look very cartoonish, and then when he does open up his jaw, and I'm going to say real quick, Joseph Stanton Jr. Hello, hey Vicky again. I always like to say hi to everybody in the chat. The Vagrancy Horror Short Stories. Nice long name there. But welcome. And when he opens up his jaw, whatever, he's got all these little tentacle things, and this little thing that comes out that goes into the back of Brian's neck.
And injects the juice.
The Windex, yes. Lots of Windex in this movie. Lots of blue juice. A lot of blue liquid in this movie. Even throughout. Yeah, there's some really spacey, really far out stuff that happens in Brian's room and stuff, because he's high, he's on drugs, But I forgot to mention, we do open up basically with the Ackermans. It's an elderly couple that lives next to Brian.
Yes, Morris and Martha, right?
Morris, Martha, yeah. And you're trying to figure out at first, like, what's going on here? Because he comes back from the butcher or deli, whatever, with some cow brains. Opens it up and says, he's going to love this. This is fantastic. And Aylmer is nowhere to be seen, right?
Yep, he's not in the bathtub.
Right. He's not taking his bath. But no, he's not in a bathtub where I guess they keep him in the liquid. There's always buckets of water, but you never see Aylmer in the water, really.
Yeah, they don't really they don't really give much of an explanation or tie that in that well, but
because he's always stuck to his victim, like Brian. He's always like part of him in his shirt or his trousers or whatever. I mean, he's always doing something. Hey, Amy Callahan, hey, what's going on? Appreciate you guys being here. Always join in. One Sean Bond, what is going on? Everybody give prayers to One Sean Bond for his daughter, who I'm not sure if she's got an appointment for the surgery yet, but prayers to her.
Oh.
Always thinking of her. She's going through a lot, but always love to you, my friend. And but yeah, they're basically looking for Aylmer, and it's funny because of how they start tearing the apartment apart.
Oh, yeah, and Martha's screaming. Like, she has a great, terrible scream, just freaking out.
Not a scream queen. No.
No.
But yeah, she's got this distinct scream about her that's actually annoying.
Yes.
You're like sitting there going, what are you crying like a 5-year-old baby for?
Yeah.
But you kind of figure it's because they were kind of hooked on this drug.
Yeah, they lost their fix.
Yes. Aylmer would, go to the back of the neck or whatever. I mean, I would figure the same thing for them, and insert the old tentacle into the, what's that back there? The brainstem system, the brainstem, and just shoot and I love how they, every time, shooting it out onto the brain, and it was just, it was kind of icky, dirty.
Yeah.
But they were tearing the place apart, and it was almost comical because Morris, he's like, they're throwing the furniture down and look. They weren't even looking for him. It was like Frank Henenlotter said, go in there and just tear apart the room.
Yes.
Because they weren't looking for nobody. Or they weren't looking for Aylmer. They were just tearing the place apart, right?
I can't find him. Just,
Yeah, this needs to go down on the ground. These books need to come out of the shelf. Yeah, it was just all over. Oh, what are you drinking there?
Oh, Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Oh,
tonight's beer.
Any flavor or just a regular old beer?
I don't know, most Oktoberfests have, it's hard to describe the flavor, but it's good.
There you go. It's good to drink and get you all looped, right? Sea Fractals, what's going on? Nice to see you here. Yeah, just making sure I don't miss anything. But this is a very casual style movie discussion, like always. We always do this on Tuesday. But yeah, so they're pissed off because they can't find him, and then you end up finding out that and they end it with them screaming like little babies in the apartment, and whatever. But yeah, no, and then we get Brian in the bed. He's sick, and his girlfriend and his brother is there. His brother lives with him. And
he and his girlfriend were Barbara. They're supposed to go to like a concert or some show, and she's like, oh, I don't want to go without you. He's like, oh, my brother Mike will take you. I'm like, wow, you're really trusting of your brother, because you way too trusting.
Yeah, you would think he would know that he's got a crush on her, because that's how he was acting the whole time in this apartment. But you know what was funny was seeing the all of the food up on top of the fridge. Like Frosted Flakes was in a white box that just said Frosted Flakes. And yeah, everything up there just said basic food, you know what I mean? Because they couldn't use the commercial images of the products, but it was funny to see a white box of Frosted Flakes. And it just said Frosted Flakes.
I didn't notice that. That's fun.
Yeah, I was picking up on the little, because it's this movie, in the same vein as the first Basket Case, was a little gritty, and New York grittiness to it, right?
Yes, but it didn't have, because this was 88, Basket Case was 82?
Yes.
So, New York was a bit different. Yeah. I wish that it had been a little more gritty, because the picture itself was very crisp.
Right.
Like the quality of it, and it didn't have as much of a distinct visual style as Basket Case did. It felt just a little bit flat to me.
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Tom, what is going on? The voice of the brain sucker was the great Zachary, we just talked about that. You came in late, Tom. What's going on? But yeah, no. Frank Henenlotter did this a lot in his movies. He didn't do a lot, but he made his movies seem a lot older than they were.
Yes.
Like, Basket Case was more like a late 70s like movie.
Exactly.
This movie even was like an early 80s movie, You still had that little bit of grittiness, even to the point of Brian when he was running down the sidewalk.
I wrote that down. I'm like, reminds me of the shot and basket case.
Exact
Dwayne's
scene.
running down.
Except
he was clothed.
Yes, he wasn't nude like Dwayne was in Basket Case, which if you haven't seen Basket Case, I would tell you guys to please consider seeing it and watching it if you like crazy, whacked out cheesiness of the 80s. And
stop motion.
Oh, in stop motion, yes.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of the stop motion in this too with
little bit.
Yeah, with Elmer. And the way, oh my God, the way the deaths are in this movie. It's not stop motion. It's just like pretty much just putting latex of the creature, which is this phallic symbol or this large worm, maybe we can say, to be a little bit more, I don't know, whatever, sensitive about the whole subject.
YouTube doesn't get mad at us.
Yeah, say, you're talking about way too many penises there. You need to stop it. And it's just stuck to the guy's side of his head. And he eats brains, okay? And the calf brains that they were bringing him from the bakery bakes bread. And muffins and cookies and all that.
But you don't get your cow brains from the bakery? I always do.
The cow brains from the bakery.
Yeah, there's a special section.
Good stuff. Paul Hamm, Brain Damage, came from a great era of cult films. Night of the Demons, Spookies, yes, Nightmare Sisters. I have not seen Nightmare Sisters.
Neither have I.
Have you seen Spookies?
Spookies, not in a very long time. But
that's a fun little ride. I think there's a party going on there, the house. It's been a while, but that might be one I have to revisit again. Samantha! What is going on, Samantha? Nice to see you here. Thank you guys all for being here, and hit the thumbs up. All that good stuff. It's been a rough day, you guys. Some of you know, some of you don't, but we are trudging on, and we're going to have fun. Talk about this movie. And join in anytime. I try to look over and see the chat when I can. It's a slug, says Artemis. The giant slug?
that works.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a giant slug, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martin Wright, what is going on? Welcome. He looked like Mr. Hanky. Yes, Mr. Pooh. Mr. Hanky.
A little.
From South Park.
Yes, a little bit.
Yes, no, that's exactly what I was thinking, but I didn't bring that up. But yeah, he.
I haven't thought about Mr. Hanky in a long time.
Yeah. What was the song?
Hanky the Christmas Pooh.
Yes.
He loves me and I love you. Something like that.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was too good.
Hello, kids.
Well, and the other one was the dope addict, the Towley? Was it Towley?
Oh, Towley, yeah.
Yeah, Towley, that's the name. Yeah, Towley. He was always high on marijuana. And, he's just, he didn't care about anything. He was just high. But anyways, and that's what we're talking about today, drug addiction. And once again, 2 movies in a row, we're talking about OD. OD from TerrorVision and ODing on, nobody really ODs. Nobody really ODs on this. The ending is, I can't wait to discuss the ending with you.
Yeah.
Because it's really out there. I'm not sure what we got to say that's going to differ.
Yeah.
Because, whoa, Frank Henenlotter, what did you do there? But yeah, so where are we? We're basically, they go off to the concert, and thus ensues what is going to happen with Brian and Aylmer. They're going to team up, and
yes,
Aylmer wants brains. Brains.
Oh, it does a quick cut to the neighbors, Morris and Martha, and they're sort of going through withdrawal detoxing, and they've got the foaming at the mouth, and that's something in movies that I hate the foaming at the mouth. It just looks like, I'm like, oh, that's just so, like, gross.
You don't
and
like
just so uncomfortable.
you don't like Alka-Seltzer then, huh?
Like, in,
He's got rabies!
Yeah.
What's going on?
Or, in Lord of the Rings, when Frodo gets stung by Shelob and he kind of foams, I'm like, oh, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot I can handle, but for some reason that just has, like, I just get this reaction, like, I don't like it at all.
Well, I get the same reaction from subspecies when Radu in the first one, especially.
Okay.
The saliva is just all coming down his mouth on that bloodstone, and I'm like going, is that necessary? I mean, that was a lot of saliva, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? You
Yeah.
remember that? Yeah, it's like you fill up a bucket with that stuff, and he's just, man. Anyways,
You probably didn't like the King's song in Hamilton. It's amazing, but Jonathan Groff, when he's singing, he spits a lot, and you see it a lot.
Gotcha.
Anyways.
But yeah, so the two old couples they're in there detoxing, and the foaming of the mouth and stuff like that. And but they're living, they're just detoxing, you know. It's hard to get off the drugs, you know what I mean? So basically they start to go on their spree, okay, Aylmer and Brian. And the first place they hit is the junkyard, right?
Yes, it looked like it was mostly just cars, though.
Yeah, wrecking.
Yeah, like a...
Yeah, it's like a wrecking, whatever. It's not a junkyard, but it's where you... Yeah, it's a junkyard for cars. Whatever.
Sure.
Junkyard. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just, when Aylmer talks for the first time, I was watching it, I'm sitting on the couch, and my cat is curled up next to me, and, this kind of alien slug
Right.
thing goes, and he goes, hi. And I just went, ha! And woke my cat up.
Oh, no. And the cat jumped.
She just looked at me like,
What are you doing?
I only get 20 hours of sleep a day. What are you doing, Mom?
Right, yeah. I'm supposed to be laying on your lap, and you had to scream and wake me up. I'm going to move somewhere else, which I'm sure it did, right?
She
No?
just kind of curled back up a little.
Oh, okay, okay. But yeah, Elmer is just fantastic. I mean, and he's promising him, oh God, this is what's fantastic. What does he promise him? Zachary tells him, I'll do all the thinking for you.
Yeah.
I'll do everything for you. You don't have to do anything. Okay, basically a zombie. You're going to be brain dead is what you're going to be.
Yeah, but you get to enjoy the colors and just have fun and music and don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, I guess until the bills come in and you can't pay them because you're high and you're enjoying all the colors. But yeah, that's basically what goes on. I mean, he promises them, as long as you get me brains, which really Brian doesn't even know because he's too high to know that deaths are happening.
Yeah, he blacks out for the actual death parts.
But when he actually jumps into this junkyard where all of these cars are lighting up neon red, blue, purple, green, all the good colors of the 80s like we always talk about, he's going, woohoo, yeah, and he's jumping, and I'm like going...
screaming, running around.
I'm like going, what? But I guess that's what somebody really, really high would do. I'm like going, what is so interesting about this?
Yeah. My husband was
what
is all this screaming? Like, he's high. He's really excited about it.
I didn't get it, but again, if you're high and there's music playing, there's lights flashing, I guess it's all interesting, But the guard, a very young Barack Obama, is
Officer Sexy. That's what I put him in the notes.
Oh, yeah.
The night guard, Officer Sexy. I'm like, ooh, that is a nice profile there.
Oh, jeez.
Sir. Sir only appearing in this movie and nothing else.
Oh, is that true?
I looked at I think maybe one other Head and Lauder thing, but yeah, that was...
Huh. Okay. So, well, you know what? That's the same with Barbara, too.
Yeah.
The girlfriend. This was really all she was ever in.
Yeah, Brian, that actor, he did a lot of soap operas, and Yeah, I can tell, like, that it made sense that his career was mostly soap operas. You can kind of see his acting style. Like,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah. Larry Bonds, what is going on? Tom O, Nightmare Sisters is a classic. Any movie with Dookie Flyswatter in it is excellent. RTN wrote a script about Brink Stevens Short in an anthology in the early 2000s. Very cool. Dooku Flyswatter gets his head ripped off in The Phantom Empire. And Tom says Repo Man. Okay, the Repo Man with the brothers, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. Is that what you're talking about? Repo Man. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
But I think you're like, are you sure?
Well,
Yeah.
when you see my mind, you said Repo Man. My mind went to Repo the Genetic Opera. I'm like, no,
Well,
that's different.
that's where mine went too. I'm like,
that's
because
a different one.
Yeah, because that's far out there too. You know, I'm like going, oh, maybe you're talking about that. No, but Repo Man, yeah, I got you. Let's see. So we're in the junkyard. The security guard comes out
With a gun.
With a gun, he's like, "Argh," like he's going. But anyways, yeah, comes over there and basically, starts to shoot or whatever, and Aylmer kind of jumps at him out of nowhere. I love when creature movies and these old 80s horror movies where something you could tell somebody's just throws it from the side, and that's as simple
Pretend
as
it's attacking you.
Yeah, I mean, props and basic things you do in the movies to make it, kind of fun. And I love it. But yeah, throws it and it goes right to his brain and starts sucking it out. And I always love when they fight these little creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a sluggish kind of, it's got no arms, no legs, no nothing, but it's got leverage to be able to fight with all of his victims.
Right. Somehow.
Kind of strange, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but you just you fight with it, and it makes for an exciting scene.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Officer Sexy, young Barack Obama. Apparently, he gets his brains eaten
sucked out.
And as this is happening, Brian is just like, wow. And then
cool, Artemis.
So he dies, but Brian has no idea, and he's just standing there like, is he going to be okay?
It's silly. It's very, very silly. The deaths in here are just, I mean, it's Aylmer. It's just a slug stuck to a head. Later on when we'll get to it, the Ackermans, that's even more funny. But,
yeah.
But and then we go ahead. I mean, I'm not sure if there's something.
Oh, you just get a little when he's just munching on his head. You get a little bit of stop motion there.
Yes, that there is where you get it. Where else do we get that in the movie? I forget.
It seems like it's mostly like when he's talking and just it's mostly a puppet.
Yeah, like when they're in the little. Because what happens is he can't take it at the house no more. You know what I mean? And he eventually goes to a hotel. And it almost looked like the same hotel from Basket Case.
Yes, very similar.
Or apartment building, because these apartment buildings in this hotel were kind of like this. They were just little tiny dinky hotel rooms that were just smattered with paint. You see a cigarette on the sink. I think it was the same.
Probably.
Yeah. But very disgusting. And this is where... Did I jump over anything before I get to this part?
Oh, the whole part at the club.
Is that before this?
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Okay. I mean, I don't know how I just skipped over that, but the main thing in this movie, the main scene that just everybody talks about and is the craziest part of the movie, because I think it's one of the strangest deaths I've ever seen on screen.
Yes. There's an aspect of it that I was a little bit confused about. But
okay, well, you can tell me about it. They go to this club. It's called Hell. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a punk, man. You take me to a club called Hell, I'm good. There you go. So the music, they're all,
And Brian's just high out of his mind.
Which
because he went to dinner beforehand with Barbara.
Yeah,
tried to.
Let's not forget that either. Okay, before the club, this is where he's telling Barbara in the restaurant as his plate of brains comes to him, because it's spaghetti and meatballs, but Brian's looking down at it and it's, like you can't breathe, like an asthmatic brain.
The meatballs become brains.
And it's like, I can't breathe. And these meatballs are getting bigger and bigger, and he's looking at it and he's freaking out a little bit more and more. But he tells Barbara that, this. He doesn't say it's not going to work, but he's just not making any sense. He's saying
like nothing, like everything's different now. I see things differently, making no sense. Beforehand when he's in the bathtub with Aylmer, like he's like having this big bubble bath, and Aylmer just pops up and he's like, "Ha ha, woo!"
Like a little 5-year-old kid.
Like, he's way too excited about his bathtub buddy.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious because even before the apartment, the club, he was in the tub with Aylmer and splashing like bubble bath and little boats and acting like a little 5-year-old kid. And it pops up like right between his legs too. And it's hilarious. It's funny. So yeah, glad you brought that part up, 'cause that was funny. But getting to the club, hell, love that. I'm in the mood for some Pinhead now, some Hellraiser. In the bar, everything's happening and the music's going, and there's this chick, we'll call her.
Yeah.
But what's her name? I don't know. She's sitting at the bar.
I think she's just credited as like blonde girl or something.
Yeah. You could be right. Blonde in Hell.
Oh,
Blonde in Hell is her credit.
That's a good band name too.
Blonde in Hell, yeah. Meh. Yeah, let's start a rock band.
Yeah.
Well, not me. I'm not a blonde in hell. But, yeah. Anyways, Blonde in Hell. So, I love the credit. What's the other credit? I think there was a
toilet victim.
Toilet victim, guy in shower, who's the big bulky beefcake guy in his shower. But we'll get to it. So she's the Blonde in Hell. She sees him right away, and out of all the people there, she's looking at him and going, "Yeah, man."
And he has his face at one point right against the amp, and it's a small club, but still, I mean, you go to live shows, I'm like, don't put your ear right on the amp. Oh my God.
Are you trying to understand what a drug-induced, state would make somebody do? I mean, he doesn't care about his ears could be bleeding from the sound. I don't think it really matters, But yeah, I mean, she's looking at him, and it's like,
yeah,
oh my God,
awesome
man.
with that. And so she gets him to dance, and he's dancing like he went to the Crispin Glover School of Dance.
Yes. Oh, nothing wrong with that. Crispin Glover, man, that dude's excellent. I love him.
His dance.
There's something about him, man.
Final chapter is so good. It's so crazy, but yeah,
that
he's
scene is just
vibing.
with Crispin Glover.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, we're talking about that. It's just that's one of my. I just love Crispin Glover. I don't know what more to say, but anyways, so he's kind of dancing like that, and she's dancing normally, like a girl in the club would do back in the day, but for some reason she's going for him. I don't know if it's because he's so out of it and she can have control of him. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, it's very I don't know, weird.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's one of the cuter dudes at the club, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There were some. We'll leave it at that. But anyways, so they start making out. Like, let's hit this thing, get to it. So they, of course, make their way towards the bathroom door, because that's the place you want to go in the 80s and the grimy club. And it's so funny how things have changed.
Yes.
Back in the day, nobody gave a crap what things looked like, how dirty things were. Not everything was fine. But, I mean, things were just so different back then. But anyways, he makes it their way there, and there's 3 punker girls sitting there waiting to go in. And when they eventually go in that door, it's all black in there.
Yeah.
There's no lights. It's like he said, that's the bathroom. You girls are going to enter in that way. I love this film for that reason. It was
Yeah.
so cheap. I mean, it's like, I love, if they gave me money enough, I mean, I would do a movie like this where it's just so cheap that you know it's cheap. You know what I mean?
That's part of the fun of it.
Exactly.
That's the charm.
I want to bring back the movies of the 80s. You know?
Yes.
So bad, so cheesy, but fun. Like, get the worst 5 characters, or 3, whatever, actors, to act, that don't even act good, but direct them in a way that it's funny as heck.
Yes.
And you will have yourself a classic. These movies are classic, right?
Yes, absolutely.
We'll never forget them. They're fantastic. They're one of a kind. Those cheesy 80s movies are just one of a kind. You'll never get anything like that. People are trying nowadays, but you can't do that, especially on 4K cameras. Yeah, you can't.
Exactly.
You know, you can't get that feel. But and then you go back to special effects. People try to put in their own little, computer generated stuff, and
yeah,
not
and
the same thing.
I'll take like cheesy, fun practical effects over really like cheaply done bad like CGI.
Oh, without a doubt. And thank you guys all for being here again. Not of This Earth with Tracy Lords, Paul Hamm. 80s clubs were fun. 80s clubs were fantastic. I mean, I was right at the tail end of the flats. So I got to enjoy a small part of that. But man, I wish I was just a little bit younger in the, like, right when punk and the new wave started hitting the clubs and stuff. That's when I wish I was just entrenched in it. But it was still fun.
The flats now are like...
it's not the flats anymore.
It's a lot more trendy than, little... I don't know
just
if
little
ritzy
restaurants and little...
Yeah, it's nice, but, you don't have, like... you don't have any, like, punk clubs or, now, like, Peabody's is gone. Like,
Yeah, the Flats is an area here, like, right by the lake that, it basically in the day... Larry Bonds, remember, for 4 months, bring back the 80s show. Which show? The 80s show. Bring back the 80s show.
The 80s show?
What are you talking about, Larry?
What in particular?
Yeah, I'm not sure which. Bring back the 80s show. I don't remember an 80s show. Let me know. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm curious.
But the Flats in our area was a little hot spot right by the, not the lake really, but kind of by the lake. The
river.
The Cuyahoga River there. And there were, in the 80s, a million clubs. And they were all happening. And they were all just, it was just a great... Well, and then it quickly got out of hand because when you get about 100 bars and restaurants, and I think even at one point there was a strip club down there, it's just, things started to get out of hand really quick. I mean, I remember, because I was there towards the tail end, and me and my uncle were driving up through there, and girl just walking right down the street topless, and the guys hollering out and stuff, but and being packed. I mean, it was just packed, and I'm like going... Wow, and I'm like going, is this safe? We better get home. What's going on? I'm like, oh, this is just a little too wild out there. But thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Always helping with the thumbs up and helping out with the stream. But and Connie and all of you guys, thank you guys very much. But yeah, let's get back to this.
Yes.
Let's get back to, we're right at the scene where the girls go in there, and that's their cue to head out to the exit door, which leads to...
Just goes like the back and...
I didn't know if it was inside the building still, like a boiler area thing or something, or if it was actually outside an alley. I think it was outside.
Yeah, it was weird because the door says "do not enter," but it's just like the door to outside, like just to the back of the building or an alley or something.
Yeah.
But yes.
So they make their way in this alley, making out.
And he's starting to kind of pass out a bit. He's still standing, but...
Yeah, that happened a lot back then. But anyways.
So she tries to induce him to wake up.
Yeah, so let me try to describe the scene the best I can without being too disgusting, okay? Because, I mean, it has to be described. I mean, it's one of the most, it's the strangest, especially when it's over with. But anyways, okay, so she's wants to get what she wants to get. So she, and
Rather what she wants to give.
True. So pushes, and he's passing out, like you said, Aleece. So push him against the brick wall, lean him up against this big pipe that's there, and slowly work her way down to the zipper, where as soon as she opens up that zipper, Aylmer flies out like a penis would. Well, I don't know if it would fly out like that, but she's right in your... No, but it flies out.
I wish that when it popped out of the zipper initially and it said, "Hi."
Yes, that would have been fantastic. Frank Hennelotter, why didn't you do that?
Take notes.
Yes, it must. I am Aylmer. I am going to give you... Yes, whatever. That's fantastic. But it flies out straight into her mouth. I know I'm being disgusting, girls. Sorry. And guys, but that's what happens. We're talking R-rated horror show, a movie here. So, and it goes directly into her mouth, and it starts working its way to her brain, evidently, because it's got the teeth and everything else. But it's, the whole scene is going on, and she's gagging, and, she's... Yeah, I mean, anything to add with that?
Well, what I was kind of confused about because...
Well, should I say how it ends first real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, let me finish it because, there's always a climax. I mean, there's a finish... Yeah, I'm getting bad now. We have to finish it, okay? So Aylmer as he pulls out, okay, and she falls to the ground. But as he goes into the zipper, you see gooey blood and brain. And this is going to happen a couple other times in the movie, where the gooey brain is there. And it's the sickest thing I've ever seen. It's disgusting.
It's gross.
It's pretty gross.
The brain stuff in this movie is very gross.
Yes, the brain. Anything brains, I can't take it. No. It's disgusting. But it is very, very unique. I have to give him that. It is one of the more unique kills I've seen in a movie before, and as disgusting as it is, but that's what you're going to get with horror movies. But anyways, tell me what you were a little bit confused about.
Well, as
they all laugh, everybody's laughing. That's the closest I can get. Wait, let me see. Let me just read what these people are saying really quick. Misinformed Marty. In an attempt to avoid disgusting people, you have lingered on the subject so long. LOL. Yeah, I guess I'm like, but it's the biggest part of the movie. I think the scene is one of the things you're going to always remember about this movie. Too loaded right now, says Connie Claire. They're all laughing. It was Trauma, Toxic Avenger too.
Yes.
Lycanthropic moon lover. I'm sorry. Some person. That's a mouthful. Oh boy. No happy ending. Sex ed from Dino. Well, not really. Toxic Avenger. Just don't want Class of Nukem High. Oh, you guys are going all off on the tangents. So don't invite this guy over. Good to know. Which guy? You mean Aylmer? He's a little creature, but definitely not Brian. But anyway, okay. So you were confused about what?
Oh well, when Aylmer is eating her brains.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So Brian's kind of like, it seems like he's getting into it. So I'm like, is he getting like pleasure from this? But like, he doesn't know what's happening. Like, what is the deal?
Interesting thought. Because is there a connection mentally somehow? I mean, Aylmer's what? I forget what they said. At the very beginning, the Ackerman... Well, a little bit later here.
Yeah, it's like next, right after.
Yeah, next, the Ackermans kind of talk about Aylmer being kind of centuries old, kind of.
Yes, like he was first discovered in like the 1400s or something.
And so he's either the space creature who came here. I mean, that's my guess. And is lingering around, or who knows? I mean, if he came from his planet, there'd be more of him. But anyways, maybe they have some kind of mental connection?
Maybe. And so Brian doesn't know, like, even though he doesn't know what's happening, he's still like, yay, munching on some brains. And he's like, that's good for me too.
Yeah, could be. He's feeling that excitement. Or Aylmer's moving around so much that he's, Brian's, feeling a little sensitivity there. I don't know. I really... That
was the worst time for me to take a sip.
I'm sorry. It was a very interesting idea. I mean, I don't know, but I get exactly what you're saying. He was back there acting like he was in a little bit of ecstasy, and it wasn't because of the drug. But are we still lingering on this a little bit long? Teresa Lee, nice to see you. You came in at the wrong spot or the right spot, whatever.
Wasn't the right spot for the blonde.
Oh, jeez, were you going to go there? Aylmer and Audrey need an epic rap battle. Aylmer and Audrey, too, need to have an epic rap battle.
That would be fun.
I got you. Yeah. Joshua Lou Friedman, Dino, read my above comment. I missed it. Let's see, Joshua Lou Friedman. Did I miss something? How far up are you? Joshua, how far up are you? My God. You might have to copy and paste and type it again. I'm looking all the way up, and I don't see your comment. Yeah, I can't go up anymore. I don't see your comment, bud. Retype it. Maybe YouTube didn't let you let it stay in the chat if it was something bad. Zusia K. Yeah, I came in at it went in her mouth. I read exactly like you said it, Zusia. Wow. Subject unclear. Can you use shadow puppets to demonstrate? What? That's funny. Good one. Lone Ranger, make her snort it out her nose. Oh boy. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, get in the bed. Okay, we'll do. Yeah, I'll keep looking, Joshua, but I it was nowhere above, man. I don't see to demonstrate. No, it can't be done. Kugnall Fest. Wow, saw this in a movie theater. Love your Halloween collection. Thank you. Appreciate it. Horror Junkie for Life. Hey, Dino, just stopping by to upvote. Have a fun rest of your night. Thank you, Horror Junkie, for the upvote. Yeah, always appreciate you. It's something else we're talking about here. So, okay. So that aside, Brian goes back to his apartment.
Or does Morris finds him first?
Yeah, well, yeah, he goes back to it's their apartment, but he's back in the alley.
Right.
Because he notices there's something wet and moist in his boxers, okay?
Yes.
See, it's continuing.
Blood
I
in
don't
the
know
boxers,
what to say.
not a good thing.
Rated R. This is all adult stuff here. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, we're right back. And his boxers are a little wet and slimy, and he decides to take them off. And when he takes them off, he goes, oh, and he throws it in a garbage can. And then out comes
Morris. And he's looking rough.
Yes, he looks very, very rough. It's all right, Zusha. I kind of got, I can't type worth shit, and I like how you typed worth shit. Shti? I type worth shti. We can make up our own language here if we wanted to. But yeah, Mr. Ackerman Morris comes out all... You could tell they put some makeup on his face, even though he's an older guy anyways, but they put older makeup on him to make him look withered and,
he's going through withdrawal. And...
Yeah, it's always tough, He's made all the meetings, but, he's still hoping for Aylmer, and, it's... it is what it is. But he still wants Aylmer, and he goes out, and he sees Brian. He goes, I know you have Aylmer. I just, I want him back. And I don't think he has a gun at this point. He's just hollering at him.
Yes.
He's like, give him back. And Brian's like, I don't know what you're talking about, you crazy old fool. or something along that line.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're crazy, old man. I'm like, you have a parasite attached to you that gets you high. Like, maybe talk to the guy who, like, knows what his deal is.
Well, I mean, come on. Yeah, at this point, you're not telling Brian anything, because he just wants to continue to get high and, live life to the fullest. But it's at this point that he's starting to notice that, hey, something's going on here. Something just isn't right. You know what I mean? It's when I got to take these shorts off, and this is what I say. Yeah, it's just not good. So
he has memory gaps, the blood, and so he decides to leave and go get a hotel. So he's to kind of figure it out, so he's not a danger to his brother and his girlfriend.
Yes, I think that's what. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. I mean, it sounds legit to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to break that down there, Aleece. I mean, So he goes up. I thought there wasn't a lot to talk about, but we're kind of walking you through this movie. He goes back up to the apartment, and he basically hears them come back from the concert, and his brother and Barbara are kind of having sexual relations.
Was that at this point, or was that...
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Or was that later? No, that's...
Was it later?
That's a little bit later. They don't hook up just yet. They do eventually. Yeah,
okay,
shouldn't have trusted the brother. But...
Okay, so well, then where are we at then?
So this is when he goes to the hotel and he's actually talking to Aylmer, and Aylmer's in that dirty sink, and he's like, "Why did you bring me here? Like, take me home. This isn't a nice place." And
keep going. That's a good Aylmer. Yeah, I like
thank
it.
you.
Yeah. This disgusting little sink you got here.
He's just so matter of fact and like casual, and he's like, "Oh yes, I ate her brains."
Oh, Brian, you think you're going to beat me? You're going to want this before you're done. You think you can make it through withdrawal? Ha ha ha! You got another thing coming. So that's my attempt. I'm trying.
So Brian's like, he's gonna try to not get it out of his system, and Elmer's like, once like you've changed, I've changed you chemically, and I'm not gonna give you any more of the stuff until you give me brains, and I can wait you out. Like, you're gonna be begging me to
right, yeah,
to eat some brains so I can give you the juice.
Yeah, give you the juice, the Windex. Really quick, Joshua Lou Friedman says, as an assistant director for many of horror films, very cool, Joshua. I worked with this film star, Rick Hurst, great guy. Very cool, Joshua. You know what? Joshua, your name seems familiar. Have you been on my channel and chatted before? I'm not sure, but now I'm going to have to look you up, bud.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, catching the show. Trying to grow this movie review discussion kind of show that we got going on here. But plenty of stuff going on the channel, that's for sure. Paranormal Into the Night on Thursday, so we are going to be talking Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Hopefully everything's good to go now. Let me see. I just want to be sure that I didn't... Lone Ranger says, "Hey, lately the horror show. I meant just make her laugh when she is drinking again and laugh so hard she snorts her drink through her nose." How cruel. I might
try. All right, give people what they want.
Yeah. Snort it. Oh, God. Watch all my equipment here, though. Hey, what? No, I'm not going to do it. Yes, I have. Okay, very cool. I know I've seen you on the channel, Joshua, so that's very cool. Appreciate you being here and still digging what we talk about. I mean, we do something different, It's not for everybody. It's long format. It's kind of podcast style. It's not your 7-minute movie review where you get everything in a few seconds. It's two people discussing a movie that we've seen with you, having fun, and
just chatting.
Yeah, and I kind of love that. On top of everything else I do here with the old time radio shows overnight, the trivia nights on Saturday night, it's nice to just sit and chat about a movie that you either hate or you love and have fun.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys dig it. And consistently, we do this every Tuesday. You guys, start, more and more people start loving it. So there you go. That's my little spiel, you guys. And if you want to join the channel, go ahead and hit that join button down there. It always helps support the channel. Connie Cleary, I hope everyone is enjoying the show and the channel. Please subscribe, hit the bell. And hopefully, you guys, I'm sure you are. You're all enjoying Aleece being part of the show here.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying being here.
I haven't heard a bad word yet. It's only 2
Ever?
shows, I think, right? So who knows what's down the road. But no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm excited for the paranormal show on Thursday.
Yes.
That's going to be fun. But, yes, so there you go. We were talking about them in the hotel room, and what was so disgusting, and I know this goes on through detox, but, Brian going through the withdrawals, and his skin, the way it looks, and him throwing up on the radiator.
Yeah, it reminded me of when I had food poisoning like a year and a half ago. It's like, make it stop.
Oh, I don't want those memories. No. Yeah, it's terrible, and it's disgusting. He's... drink some chocolate milk, throw it up. That's what the director probably said, because that's what it looked like. But, I didn't linger on that too much. But he's crawling on this disgusting floor and everything else. And it's a battle of Aylmer and Brian, who's going to win. And
Battle of wills, but...
Who's going to win? Interesting. But yes, it's Aylmer. I mean...
Because the movie has to happen.
Exactly. You do need the movie to happen. Paul P.P. Christman. Tuesday. It's Tuesday? How ghastly. Yeah. Brad 99.
It's Thursday. It's you ghastly.
That's too
Breakfast
ghastly.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
There you go. One of my favorite films. Nothing to do with horror, but I have
Well, Mickey Rooney in that movie is pretty horrifying.
Well... Yeah, but I've got a soft spot for that movie. It's right here, man.
My girl Audrey.
Audrey Hepburn. There's not too many movies I don't love her in, man. She is a beauty of that time. I mean, well, she's still, whatever. Aleece does a great job, says Edward. Thank you. Aleece makes it even better, says Paul Ham. That's very nice of you. The big guy is my buddy. Well, Ted will be back when he's able to. He'll be, we'll figure this out, okay? But, not no time soon, and it has a lot. Yeah, he'll be back eventually.
Take off my mask. I've been Ted this whole time.
Yeah. The world's just a different place right now, you guys, and things, whatever. It is what it is. Glad to see the Xenomorph on the right side. Will always be my favorite. Thank you. My toys. I'm glad you can... I'm looking at the video of us doing things like 5 seconds ago.
I know, it's so strange.
That's weird. Don't look at that. It's weird. Food poisoning is nasty. Brad 9999999, you guys are awesome, and I dig the decorations. Thanks for the show. Thank you. Appreciate it. I really, really do. So, Joshua Lou Friedman, we liked Drone. Oh, that must be a movie he worked on. Where is this show streaming from? This show is streaming from Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, Parma, but I'm going to say Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Ohio. The Mistake by the Lake. No. Cleveland's a very, very cool place. We've got some nice spots in Northeast Ohio that are really great.
There's a lot of great stuff over here.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm biased because I live here, but and over even past 10, 15 years, a lot of things have come up, and it's a fun town.
It's a fun town. We can go romping through the fields if we want, or we can go to the restaurant and certain districts in the... Anyways, let's stop. Let's get back to the film. So
now the shower and then the toilet victim.
Yes, because he eventually caves, Brian, and he knows he needs to get Aylmer a brain to chow on. Oh, and you guys, overnight, the Old Time Radio Show in an hour. is going to be Escape. So stream number 7 for Escape. Some good old suspense, mystery, adventure. It's going to be some cool stuff. I picked out some cool shows, so good stuff. See you guys there for that. And so he's going to go out into the halls and stuff of this hotel and look for a victim.
Yeah, and they have like a public shower room.
Man, these glasses. Yeah, which they did do a lot of that back in the day.
Yeah.
It's very I don't. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Because I think a lot of those like hotels and even apartments
especially
wouldn't have a shower.
City.
There'd be like a communal bathroom.
Yes. And there was that hot shower.
Yeah.
It was very dirty, grimy, but slowly they pan in. But beforehand, he's going to every doorknob to unlock it. Here's a guy who has 5 locks on his door who can't pick a lock. Can't get the door open. But anyways, he's going, and nobody's answering. Nobody's going anywhere.
I wouldn't if I was staying there.
I wouldn't either. But the 2 guys walk through. I don't know why. And 2 guys are just babbling on, and a big guy with a beard who played in Frankenhooker.
Okay.
He was one of the guys
the bearded guy.
Yeah, him and the one in the shower was the pimp in Frankenhooker.
Oh.
And the John the drug dealing and stuff.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Actually, this movie, it's kind of like there isn't.
Hey, Dust Bunny.
Hey,
Dust Bunny. What's going on?
It's this big, buff guy, and I'm like, okay, this ain't bad. All right, and he's very polite. And then
He's
and
nice.
I'm like, oh, I'm so sad, but no. He's gonna live. I'm like, yay! Polite buff gentleman in the shower. He lives.
Well, the creepy part is when Brian does work his way in there with a towel on. He's got the good old towel going, and he's holding it up.
Pale and
white
kind
as
of
a
looked
ghost.
a little. Reminded me a little bit of David in American Werewolf in London. Like
Yes!
Sick Brian kind of had that look to him.
Yes, look like that. Yeah, 100%. Good catch. But yeah, he walks into the shower and he looks at this buff guy, and this big buff guy is muscles all over, and he's showering, and he turns around, he's probably wagging around there a little bit, swinging, and he looks at him and he goes, "Don't worry, I'm not going to bother you. It's all's cool here," And he's washing himself and all that, and nice, good hot water. At least you can see the steam coming off.
Yeah.
Good boiler system in the building. Yeah, that's one thing that's working. But he goes over there, and you think that because you see Aylmer like crawl on down, and you think he's going to go get the buff guy, and like you said, doesn't, and gets whatever you'd call him in the the stall.
Toilet victim.
As
he's listed on IMDb.
Yeah, and he's like, "What's going on out there?" And he closes his door and he looks up, and boom, right down to his brain. It's he's fighting with the coming right.
And you don't see much of it. Like you see like the lot of blood spurting like up above the stall and onto like the window, and you see like some of his feet are like up in the air a little bit.
Yeah.
Like how is he?
It was Frank Henenlotter was in there, shooting up like with one of the ketchup bottles, squirting up all the red blood stuff. So that was actually him in there doing that, spraying that up. So which I would do. I would get involved with the film you love and having fun doing. But
Now, what I was wondering about that was because you have these most of the other kills are very you see everything that's going on, but this one. You don't see it happening, like you see the blood spurting. I'm like, I wonder if that was just like because of like budget and effects reasons, or maybe they're like, okay, we can either have like this big kill, or do the one with the blonde girl, and like maybe something like NPAA or some, they're like, okay, well we'll just we won't show much with this one, so we can get away with all this other stuff.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it could be a point. I did read somewhere, don't quote me on this, about the MPAA not having any issues with that, the blonde in hell, that death scene, the head scene, no problem with that.
Really?
Yes, they really had, and it could be because of the bloodiness that wasn't accompanied with it. And putting it off onto that. Maybe that was smart thinking on Frank Henlotter, or just being lucky, because it stayed in the movie, and it's one of the most talked about parts. But anyways, so that happens, and they're back on the road to happiness together, and he gives them the old Windex on the brain, and then they head to the apartment, right?
Yes, he's just chilling in bed, and Barbara and his brother Mike come home, and she's like, I don't understand. He made me feel like I'm disposable. And he's like, you're a very special lady. And then the two of them start making out. I'm like, Mike, he's just like, it looks like he's eating her ears. I'm like, sloppy kisser, stop. Michael.
Yeah. You don't drool, and you can't be too wet when you're kissing. But anyway.
Like, it's worse than like the brain eating.
Well, you're talking about disgusting stuff again, and one thing we looked over in the hotel room.
Oh,
yes, where he was freaking out and going through withdrawals and stuff like that,
and like having hallucinations.
Yes, and it was one of the freakiest things. Did you write something down? I'll let you say it if you got it down.
So it's like he's pulling out his brain, like his brain is unwound. He's pulling it out through his ear, and it's so disgusting.
At first, he pulls some thing out, you're thinking, oh, is this a slug type thing from Aylmer or whatever? But and then he starts pulling out and he's going, oh, while adding to the disturbing image, that you're getting from this, and then after he's done, blood just flies out,
spurting out.
So I had to get that in.
That was thank you for bringing that up. That was gross.
Thank me for bringing that up. Yeah,
well, it should be talked about.
Oh no, it should. It's something that it's one of the more disgusting parts of the movie. But hey, gorehounds. Love it. So there you go. They're back at the thing. They're slobbering all over the bed. They get nude, and it looks like his brother is just not. He's not doing a very good job. I think that's why Barbara says, oh my God, man, when he's off the drugs, I'm going right back to Brian.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever's going on.
I wrote, it couldn't...
Misinformed Marty. Shout out to the sloppy kissers out there. Oh my God.
But Barbara and Mike, I'm like, this has got to be the most lackluster... sex ever,
it's whatever.
Not ever, but I mean,
low budget B. Throw them on.
Does not seem like she's having a great time.
Well, it wasn't well directed because what he's saying. What maybe he doesn't know what's going on, and he's going, okay, now you turn over, roll over, roll because you get a little nudity there. You see a little breast, you see his butt, But the rest of it just was terrible.
It was not the lovemaking scene from. Why can't I think of the name of the movie that we just watched?
Terrible.
Don't Look Now.
Oh, Don't Look Now. Oh my God.
It was not like that.
That was intense and very. If you haven't seen our review or our movie discussion on Don't Look Now, that was a very good discussion. It was very serious, kind of. Although we're always joking around, but that movie was fantastic. Again, I'm in the mood for some giallo again. But anyways, that happens, and he comes out. Brian comes out as he's listening to all of this, but he's off his rocker. He's OD.
There's one shot. He's laying in the bed. And Aylmer, he's under the sheets and rises up, and it made me think of the scene in Nightmare on Elm Street when Nancy's asleep in the tub and Freddy's glove comes up.
I thought the same thing.
Okay, yay!
Yes.
We're on the same page.
Yes, except it wasn't the bathtub; it was the bed. There was totally 100%. One Sean Bond, $5 super chat. thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the hours and efforts you put into your content. Epic job. Thanks, Dino. And Aleece now. Thank you very much, Sean. I do appreciate all the... Hey, I appreciate you all. And I know, Sean, I know you were typing out a very lengthy comment earlier, but I decided to just take that down because I just don't want the drama. But, you know, the stuff that goes on in the YouTube universe kind of sucks. I'm not going to get into it real deep here. A lot of people probably don't get it, probably don't understand and think it's no big deal. But I think a lot of each and every one of you guys who come to every one of my streams or try to make my streams, my shows, everything, you guys all mean a lot. So when I lose some of them and there's reasons behind it, and not to mention other stuff, but, you know, it sucks. And I just want you guys to understand that I deal with as we start losing people. So there we go. We'll get back to the movie. I'm just saying, because I know, Sean, you tried to leave it, and I do understand how much you appreciate it. But there's a lot of craziness that goes on behind the scenes that kind of sucks, and you got to be vigilant at all times with. But anyways, let's finish it out before we lose them all, because stop talking seriousness. But, you know, it's things that you kind of need to understand if you're part of a family and group, that there's going to be crap that goes on, you know, that is unneeded, you know. But, you know, bigger a channel gets and stuff like that, the more the people come in and try to pick and pick. And so anyways, so we were at him coming out, Brian coming out and telling them both that you have to get out of here.
Yes, and not because he's mad that they hooked up. Like, I
don't want you guys to die because I'm killing people, or he thinks he's killing people. He's involved. We're killing people, and I don't want you two to die. And that was a sweet, tender moment between two lovers and a brother, and it just made me cry.
It made you cry?
Yeah. It was a couple hours before I settled down and restarted it again. I mean, well, I think it was a long hot chocolate and
a tub of ice cream.
Yeah, I don't know why it got to me. But anyways, I'm joking. Anyways, that's what I do. So he tells him, get the hell out of here. I don't want to kill you guys. And they end up, I guess, do they end up going? Jeez, I don't even know now. They leave? Or does Brian leave?
Brian leaves. Barbara gets dressed very quickly and follows him. Yeah. So he
should have worn a dress there, Barbara. But no, she does get dressed very quickly. But yeah, that's right. Brian runs out of the house.
Yeah, he goes to the subway and he jumps over the turnstile and she ducks underneath. I'm like, try getting away with that now.
Thank you all. Love y'all. So they run out and they get to the subway system. Because this is New York.
Yes.
I mean, I'm guessing it's New York.
Best scene of the movie.
Yes. Right. If you're a basket case lover and go see the movie, don't go see it. It's not at the theaters anywhere, but, you know, wherever you can. Yeah. So the subway scene, they eventually get on the subway. There's a little interaction beforehand, but, you know, Brian gets on there, then Barbara gets on there, and Barbara's like, oh my God, I love you. I think
trying to figure things out. And then this guy with this crazy hair and a giant basket sits down. I'm like, it's Dwayne and Belial!
Dwayne and Belial, yes.
I cheered. My cat was like, my mother's crazy again.
The only thing that was bad was I wanted that basket I wanted Belial to at least peek out.
Yeah.
You know, at least, But soon and quickly in this basket case universe that we got going on here, because you can kind of do that when a character makes an appearance, and it is still the same gritty New York City, okay? And, you know, and he shows up, and then he's like, wait a second, this Brian dude over here is very weird, I'm leaving. And he slowly gets up and slides off the scene, you know.
When Dwayne and Belial think that something's up with you, that's serious.
Yes. So we get another quick, and I know we're getting there. We have 15 minutes. We'll wind this up in 15 minutes. So let's get to it.
Yes.
So quickly on that train, he's seeing everything in like pink and blue and stuff. Like different image or colors and stuff like that. So he just goes and starts kissing Barbara, and Aylmer. Oh, and the other weird thing that was on the train. See. Boy, we think we can't get it all in.
Right.
And look, I'm running out of time. They kept glancing over at Brian. See, I'm trying to go too fast now. Say, Dino, slow down. Aylmer kept flying out of his mouth.
Coming out of his mouth, and he's trying to like get him back in because he doesn't want him to go after Barbara.
Yeah, but it's like, why was... They never alluded to him being inside of him or his mouth or anything like that.
And then there's a lady sitting, like, just watching them like nothing's going on. And, well, I mean, it is New York, so...
Yeah.
So...
Strange people having sex and kissing over there.
So it looks like they're just kissing, but Aylmer's sucking out Barbara's brains and
Brian gets up, and when he lays her down, and he gets up, and there's the blood, and you can see little bits of brain in his mouth.
Yeah.
And that again, very disgusting, very, very disgusting. Anything with brains, and you shouldn't be chewing on it. Although it's a delicacy in certain cultures, monkey brain.
Yeah.
So I forget which cultures. It's, so we've seen it in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And,
yes.
But anyways, so what comes next? I'm trying to remember. Do we get the next scene with the Ackermans?
Yes. He goes back and
He takes off the shirt because that's all bloody.
Yes.
Like he took off his boxers. Throws it in the garbage. And then the Ackermans come. And they come packing a pistol this time.
Yep.
And they're both there. And they're both going to... Edward Stewart, Ovaltine, the official drink of the Late Late Horror Show. You better believe it. Remember to give a thumbs up. Thank you, JLR. Okay, so yeah, that happens. Big thing ensues with the fight. He basically tells them, we're taking Aylmer, and here I'm going to shoot you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Martha rips him off of Brian, and she's like, she's
like,
petting him like it's a baby or like a little dog or something, and then he goes after Martha.
Yeah, he gets attached to her head, sucks out all her brain,
and she's
kills
screaming.
Her. Yeah.
She looks something about it looked really creepy when she was getting her brain sucked out, like on the makeup on her and just the way she's
makeup
like
effects and movements
on the floor.
No, very. It was a wacky, crazy scene. I don't know, but it was cool. And then Morris, kind of after she dies, goes after. Well, he pulls it off of.
Yes.
No. Aylmer jumps onto his brain.
Yes.
And then he's fighting with it, and I love how he's fighting with it. Like it's got any power or any strength. Zatoichi. Oh, I don't know. How do you say that? Zatoichi? I'm sorry, I'm ruining it, but upgraded membership to level 2. Thank you. Oh, that's Morgrim. Morgrim. I like Morgrim. I could say that. I can't say Zatoichi. Because I know it's it looks like, I don't know what that looks like. Seven Samurai or so, I don't know what it is. Anyways, thank you very much for upgrading level 2. Appreciate it. Okay, so very quickly, we the fight ensues, and he's fighting with it like this, Aylmer, and then it does suck some of his brains and all that, but doesn't kill him.
Yes, he gets Aylmer off him, and he squeezes him to death.
Yeah, and throws him on the ground. And Aylmer's dead after 4 centuries.
Yeah, kind of an anticlimactic death for this.
Aylmer, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and but he had the thing attached to Brian because he was feeding him the juice, the Windex.
Yes.
And as he's getting squeezed and dying, he overdoses Brian with it because it's just like everything.
It's glancing scene to scene to scene where it's just spewing the blue Windex all over the brain more and more and more. So yeah, thus the overdosing of whatever this drug is that he's giving him.
And Brian grabs Morris's gun and runs up to the apartment.
And this is the climax, the ending of this film, which right in time. We got 10 minutes. Yeah, so he's up there. You hear a gunshot, right?
Yes, you hear the gunshot,
and
then
everybody's gathering outside the building down there.
Yeah, there's like police and his brother, and I thought this shot was actually really cool. You see like this
it's kind of like
bright
the
light.
scene in the basket case too, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody gathers down below.
Yeah.
Except Belial falls to his death, but you still get the same kind of thing. But yeah.
But the so there's this bright light shining, like flickering, shining out the window, and it was just a cool looking shot the way it's going like through the blinds. So they come in and they bust in the door, and Brian, I'm like, okay, he's got Pennywise's deadlights.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there like a chunk of his head is gone, and it's just this bright, almost white light with like electricity crackling in it.
It's like an egg shattered on the top of his head. And you see inside there's like this, and none of this makes sense because he just OD'd on whatever that liquid, but we don't know what it causes. Or again, Aylmer could have been from space, and thus some interdimensional thing going on because he's got this bright light in his brain.
Maybe maybe he is distantly like he's a distant cousin of Pennywise.
It could be. I don't know.
Because it reminded, like in the 1990 miniseries when he gets like hit with the silver and just like a chunk of his head goes off and just the dead lights are coming out, and it looked a lot like that.
It does. Yeah, I mean, whether that's maybe it gets a lot of inspiration from that, I don't know. But I mean, nevertheless, the film ends just like that. I mean, Brian's sitting there, eyes open. He's not dead. Whether Frank Henenlotter said, let's leave this open for a part 2.
Yeah,
brain damaged again. Or something like that. But it just didn't make any sense, right?
Yeah,
you can interpret it many different ways if you really want to.
But yeah, and then
that's it.
And it's Morris at one point when he's telling Brian about Aylmer, and he's like, "You named him Elmer?" He's like, "Not Elmer, Aylmer, Allymer." But in the credits, it's Elmer.
I know. Because whoever did that because that would mean. Somewhere in the sheets, it makes no sense. I don't get it, but I don't think there's anything I missed here. I mean, it wasn't as great as I remember it on second watch, but I still give it a solid 7 out of 10. I mean, if you dig this genre of films, it's going to be great. If you like Extra. If you like films that are weird and strange and bizarre, and this is up there, it's like that.
Yeah.
The Trash Picture Show. Would you ever do a favorite video nasty top 10 countdown? Dino. Of course I would, Marty. I'm up for anything, to tell you the truth. Video nasties, you're getting a little bit borderline when it comes to YouTube, but you can walk your way through it. Heck, we could review, well, I'm not going to even say it. Can you imagine reviewing porn movies? I mean, come on, and being R-rated about it? I mean, what is there really to talk about?
There are some YouTubers who do that.
Real? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I'm sure there are, probably do pretty well too. I mean, I guess, but yeah. So yes, Marty. I mean, why not? Video nasties are up there the same as those 60s, 70s schlocky, what's it called? Bizarre, what's that? There's a website even for those movies. Oh, why can't... It's on the tip of my tongue. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so that's the film. I think you maybe similar rating?
Yeah, I would say maybe like a 6.5. Okay.
I could tell you weren't as happy with this one. But yeah, I'm not sure what film we're going to do next week. We'll talk about it real quick and let you guys know. As always, post things way ahead of time. And me and Aleece will see you Thursday in 2 days for talking some Bigfoot, cryptids, even some haunted stuff. I mean, when it comes to Ronald Murphy, the door is wide open. He's very knowledgeable in many things, and I can't wait to discuss the topic of Bigfoot when it comes to, why we don't see, or not why we don't see, but why we don't have a Bigfoot, why we don't have cryptids in general. Okay, but we'll save it.
Yeah, that's actually something I wanted. I'm like,
it's number one, and there are some explanations.
There's a certain theory I've heard that I really want to broach with him. That I'm sure I have to do some more reading to see if he's covered it. But I'm a
sneak peek, and it's not giving anything away from the show because believe me, we could talk for hours. I've already talked to him in the past on my show for hours, but. There's even a thing where these things could have been possibly in our past history, and the folklore from that alone has created such an impact in certain cultures that people still think they're seeing these things and stuff like that. Not saying that some of them aren't real, but we'll get into that. So Thursday we'll talk about that, and next week movie review, and Saturday trivia night with me. Everything's 8 p.m. Okay, other than the Old Time Radio Show overnight, and of course every single night you get that. So escape in half an hour, and with that said, there you go. Psychotronic, Psychotronic. There you go. So with that said, everybody, thank you. Make sure before you leave, if you haven't, give that thumbs up and that like. Thank you to the people who upgraded memberships.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate that as always. And yeah, I guess say goodbye there.